The Magnetic Wound. Why They Love You and Leave You Hurting. Written and published by the Brain Podcast. Have you ever laid awake at night, thinking about someone who once loved you? Someone who once looked at you like you were their entire world, only to later turn away, without explanation? It leaves a scar, doesn't it? A quiet ache you don't always talk about, but still feel. You might wonder, was it something I said? Was I not enough? Did I imagine the whole thing? If you've ever asked yourself those questions, you are not alone. The truth is, they're the reason love feels so magical when it begins, and so confusing, even cruel when it ends. Carl Jung, one of the most profound thinkers of the human soul, believed that love, especially sudden, overwhelming love, is not random. It's not an accident. It's a message from the deepest parts of who we are. And if we learn how to listen to it, we will understand not only why people fall for us, but why they sometimes leave. And most importantly, what every love story is secretly trying to awaken inside of us. This is not a lesson in bitterness. It's a lesson in becoming whole. So if you've ever loved, lost, or longed to be truly seen, this journey is for you. Let's begin. Chapter 1. Love isn't random, it's resonance. We grow up hearing stories about love as if it were pure chance. A look across a crowded room. A spark neither person expected. A magical accident written in the stars. And while love does feel magical, it isn't born from nowhere. Every person we are drawn to, and every person drawn to us, arrives in our lives following a silent blueprint. A design written by our experiences, our hopes, and especially our wounds. You see, the human heart carries more than just desire. It carries memory. It carries longing. It carries invisible scars from the moments we were not loved the way we needed to be. And when someone walks into your life and touches those hidden places, not with their words, not even with their actions, but simply by being who they are, something ancient inside you wakes up. It feels electric. It feels faded. It feels like something you can't quite explain, and maybe don't even want to. But beneath all that magic, there's an order, a silent resonance between what you unconsciously seek and what they unconsciously offer. Love is not random. It is recognition. It is two unseen maps folding into each other, even before either person knows why. That's why some people glance at you and move on, while others stop in their tracks, drawn to you by something they couldn't name if they tried. It's not about your looks. It's not about your charm. It's not about how smart, funny, or kind you are, though all of those things are beautiful. It's about something older, something deeper, something shaped long before this moment ever arrived. And until we understand this deeper truth, we will keep believing that love is pure luck, that if it fails, it's because we failed, that if it hurts, it's because we are unworthy. But the real story, the one Jung tried to teach, is much more profound than that. And once you see it, you'll never unsee it. You'll realize every meeting matters, every heartbreak teaches. Every attraction reveals something waiting inside you to be found. You are not broken because love ended. You are being reshaped, becoming. And the next chapter of your story begins with remembering who you were before you were ever loved, before you were ever left, before you forgot that wholeness was already inside you. Chapter 2. The Blueprint of Your Soul. You are carrying a map inside you. Not a map you can see with your eyes, but a map stitched together by every moment you've lived, the joys you celebrated, the betrayals you endured, the moments you were seen, and the moments you were invisible. Every memory, every emotion, every silence you survived, it all left an imprint, and without even realizing it, that imprint shapes who you're drawn to. It shapes who feels safe, who feels exciting, who feels like home. Your heart knows this map better than your mind ever could. That's why, sometimes, You feel connected to someone you barely know. It's not logic. It's recognition. An invisible thread pulling you toward something, or someone, that matches a part of your hidden story. The people who magnetize you, who pull you into their orbit without effort. They often reflect parts of your own soul that you have forgotten, or parts you never learned how to love. Maybe it's a freedom you abandoned. Maybe it's a tenderness you were taught to fear. Maybe it's a wildness you locked away to survive. When someone carries even a fragment of what you lost, your heart stirs. It remembers, not in words, but in feeling. It's why you sometimes meet a stranger and feel like you've known them for lifetimes. It's why some people feel familiar, even if they are nothing like anyone you've ever met before, because they are not just touching your present. They are touching your history, your pain, your dreams, your forgotten songs. This is the silent architecture of attraction, and this is why love feels so faded, because in many ways it is, not by stars in the sky, but by stars buried deep inside your own soul. You are drawn to the people who carry the missing keys, the keys to the locked rooms inside you, the keys to parts of yourself you are finally ready, or desperate, to reclaim. And so, when love sweeps you off your feet, when your heart races at the sound of someone's voice, when you find yourself saying, "I don't know why, but I just feel something about them," know this: you are not imagining it. Your soul remembers what your mind has forgotten, and every connection, even the ones that hurt, are calls from within, not accidents, not mistakes, messages from your truest self, whispering, it's time to come home to yourself. Chapter 3. The first reason. You represent what they lost. Sometimes, people fall in love with you because you carry something they lost long ago. Maybe it's a piece of innocence, a softness they had to harden to survive. Maybe it's a courage they buried under fear. Maybe it's a wild, untamed joy they no longer let themselves feel. When they see you, the way you move, the way you laugh, the way you live without apology, something inside them stirs, something ancient, something aching. You awaken a memory they didn't even know they had forgotten, and for a moment, you become more than just a person to them. You become a symbol, a living, breathing doorway back to a part of themselves they thought was gone forever. It's not your fault that this happens, and it's not their fault either. It's how the soul reaches out, searching for what it has lost. Sometimes they admire you. Sometimes they crave you. Sometimes they cling to you. Not because of who you are on the surface, not because of your job, or your face, or your achievements, but because of what you represent deep inside their hidden world. You might be the courage they abandoned. You might be the hope they gave up on. You might be the love they never believed they deserved. And so they fall. Hard. Fast. Without understanding why. But there's a danger here. A quiet one. Because when someone falls in love with the part of themselves they see reflected in you, they aren't truly seeing you. Not yet. They're seeing their own longing, their own brokenness, their own unfinished story. And if they do not realize this, if they do not do the work to heal and reclaim that part of themselves, they will begin to confuse you with salvation. They will believe that being close to you is what makes them whole. The holding on to you tightly will fix everything that feels wrong inside. But no one, not even the purest, kindest, most beautiful soul, can carry that weight forever. When you are loved for what you symbolize, and not for who you truly are, you will eventually disappoint them. Not because you did anything wrong, not because you weren't enough, but because no human being can fulfill another person's missing pieces. That is a journey we all must take for ourselves. This is why love can feel so intense in the beginning, and so painful later on, when the fantasy fades, when the real you complex, imperfect, alive, steps into the light, they may pull away. They may grow cold. They may even resent you for not being able to fix a hole in their soul that was never yours to heal. And you may be left wondering what you did wrong, why the love that felt so sacred slipped away. But hear me now. You did not fail them. You did not ruin something perfect. You were simply holding a mirror, and when they couldn't bear the reflection any longer, they turned away. It was never about your worth. It was about their wounds. When you understand this, when you truly see it, something softens inside you. You stop blaming yourself for every ending. You stop shrinking to fit someone else's emptiness. You stop chasing love that asks you to be a fantasy instead of a human being. And you begin to understand. The right kind of love, the lasting kind, the sacred kind, is not built on projection. It's built on recognition. It's built on two souls who see not just what they need in each other, but who honor the fullness, the flaws, the breathtaking humanity of one another. It's rare. It's real. And it always begins with seeing, truly seeing, both yourself and the other, not as saviors, not as missing pieces, but as whole, living mysteries, meeting, learning, loving, freely. Chapter 4. When fantasy meets reality. At first, falling in love feels like magic. They see you really see you, and it feels like being chosen by the universe itself. Every word between you feels electric. Every glance feels full of meaning. Every touch feels inevitable. In those first days, or weeks, or months, it's easy to believe you've finally found it. That elusive thing everyone talks about, but few ever truly feel. It's intoxicating. It's pure. It's overwhelming in the most beautiful way. And then, slowly, something shifts. You start to see the cracks. Small things, at first. A misunderstanding. A moment of distance. A disagreement that lingers longer than it should. At first, you brush it off. You tell yourself love is supposed to be messy. And it is. But what you're feeling now is different. It's as if the person who once looked at you like you were the answer to a question they'd been asking their whole life is starting to see something else. Something more complicated, something less perfect. And deep inside, you feel it too. You begin to realize they were not just loving you. They were loving an image of you, an idea of you. And now the real you, the full you, is beginning to show. And the fantasy can't quite survive the light. It's a painful realization. Because when someone loves you for who they imagine you are, there's always a silent fear. If they truly knew me, the messy, complicated, imperfect me, would they still stay? And sometimes, the answer is no. Not because you are unworthy, not because you are broken, but because they weren't truly ready for real love. The kind of love that embraces complexity, not just projection. Carl Jung warned us about this. He said, when we project our own inner images onto others, we do not love them as they are. We love them as we need them to be. And when they fail to live up to the role we cast them in, because no human being can play a fantasy forever, we feel betrayed, disillusioned, abandoned. But the betrayal is not real. The betrayal is only the shattering of an illusion that was never sustainable to begin with. You see, no one can be your missing piece. No one can save you from yourself. No one can live inside the story you wrote long before you met them. And you cannot live inside someone else's fantasy, either. You are not here to be perfect. You are not here to be a mirror for someone's lost dreams. You are here to be real, to be whole, to be seen, fully seen, in all your messy, beautiful truth. And that kind of love, that kind of seeing, only happens after the fantasy breaks. It hurts. God, it hurts. Watching someone pull away when the real you steps forward. Feeling the distance grow where there was once only closeness. Seeing the sparkle in their eyes dim into confusion or disappointment. It hurts because for a moment, You believed too. You wanted it to be real. You wanted to be loved in that perfect, unquestioning way. You wanted to finally be enough. But the truth is, you have always been enough. The fantasy didn't fail because you failed. The fantasy failed because no real love can grow in a garden of illusions. When the fantasy falls away, what's left is something much rarer, much truer. The possibility of real love. Love that says, I see your flaws. I see your fears. I see your history. And I choose you still. Love that holds space for your humanity. Love that does not ask you to be a savior, or a symbol, or a cure. Love that simply asks you to be yourself. But for that love to grow, the old dream must die. And sometimes, the person who once loved your dream cannot stay to love your truth. It's heartbreaking. It's disillusioning. It's necessary. Because every time the fantasy collapses, you come closer to something real, something lasting, something worth waiting for. Not just love from another, but love for yourself. The kind that says, I am enough, even when I am messy, even when I am imperfect, even when I am human. And from that place, real love, love that is awake, alive, unconditional, can finally find you. Chapter 5. The second reason. You awaken their inner archetype. There's another reason why someone might fall so deeply, so suddenly for you. And it goes even deeper than what you represent. It touches something ancient, something unconscious, something written long before either of you ever met. Inside every human being, there lives a secret image, a picture of the other, shaped by childhood, shaped by culture, shaped by stories whispered to us long before we knew how to speak. Carl Jung called these images the anima and the animus. The anima, the inner woman inside every man. The animus, the inner man inside every woman. They are not just fantasies. They are blueprints, emotional patterns, archetypal energies, silently shaping how we love, how we long, how we connect. When you meet someone, and the connection feels overwhelming, almost supernatural, it might be because you are awakening their inner image. You are not just a person to them. You are the living, breathing reflection of something they have carried in their unconscious for years, maybe even their whole life. It's not about your appearance. It's not about the words you say. It's about your essence, the energy you carry, the emotions you stir without trying. Something about you, your way of being, your emotional tone, your spirit, matches a hidden figure inside them, a figure they have loved, feared, and longed for, without ever fully knowing it. That's why it can feel so immediate, so powerful, so impossible to explain. You meet, and it feels like destiny. It feels like fate. It feels like you have known each other forever, even if you've only just met. It's not logical. It's not reasonable. It's soul memory, or what feels like it. Because when their unconscious sees in you the image it has been carrying for so long, it lights up. It says, there. That's it. I've found it. Even if their conscious mind has no idea what's happening, their heart remembers. And that is why the bond feels so immediate, so breathtaking, so undeniable. But here's the truth that few people ever talk about. When someone falls in love with you because you awaken their inner archetype, they are not truly falling in love with you yet. They are falling in love with the symbol you represent, the dream you seem to embody. And while that love can feel sacred, while it can feel bigger than both of you, it is still at first a projection, an unconscious dance between their inner world and your real one. This is why love, in the beginning, often feels like stepping into a dream. You are not just two people meeting. You are two histories meeting, two myths colliding, two unconscious worlds recognizing each other. It is beautiful. It is breathtaking. It is dangerous. Because the moment the real you, your scars, your contradictions, your truths, begins to shine through the image they had unconsciously built, the dream begins to crack. Not because you aren't wonderful, not because you aren't enough, but because no human being can live up to an archetype forever. No one can be someone else's perfect mirror indefinitely. Eventually, real life will ask to be seen. And that is where real love begins, or where the illusion ends. Knowing this does not make love less magical. It makes it more miraculous. Because if two people can move beyond a projection, if they can see past the inner myths and fantasies, if they can meet each other fully, flaws and all, then what they create is not just love. It's awakening. It's transformation. It's something sacred and rare. But it requires courage. The courage to let go of the dream. The courage to embrace the human. The courage to say, I see who you are, not just what I hoped you would be, and I love you still. So if you have ever felt someone fall for you with overwhelming intensity, if you have ever felt like you carried someone's dreams on your back without even trying, know this. It wasn't your fault. It wasn't manipulation. It wasn't a mistake. It was the beautiful, complicated dance of the unconscious. Two souls, meeting their own hidden reflections through the face of another. And as painful as it can sometimes be, it is also a miracle. Because every encounter, even the ones built on projection, brings you closer to seeing yourself more clearly. Every love, real, imagined, or broken, moves you one step closer to becoming whole. Chapter 6. No one can live inside a dream forever. At first, the dream feels so real. They see you, not just with their eyes, but with their soul. Or so it seems. The connection is electric. The world feels softer, lighter, more alive when they are near. You begin to imagine a future. You begin to believe that maybe, just maybe, this time, it will be different. But dreams are fragile things. And no matter how beautiful a dream may be, no one, not you, not them, can live inside a dream forever. The cracks come slowly at first. A strange silence where there used to be endless conversation. A flash of irritation where there used to be only admiration. A distance you can feel, but cannot name. You wonder if you've done something wrong. You wonder if you should try harder, be softer, quieter, more agreeable. You wonder if you're losing them. But the truth is, you are not losing them. They are losing the dream they projected onto you, the dream they needed you to carry. And now, as the real you begins to emerge, in all your beauty and complexity and humanness, the dream can no longer hold. You were never just their fantasy. You were never just their answer. You were never just the missing piece they wanted you to be. You are a full, breathing, intricate human being. And no matter how deeply they loved the image of you they carried, reality was always waiting. Reality, where you are sometimes uncertain, where you are sometimes messy, where you are sometimes in need of love, too. Reality, where no one is perfect, where no one can save another person from themselves. This is the moment where so many relationships break, not because the love was fake, not because the feelings weren't real, but because the foundation wasn't strong enough to hold the weight of two real, imperfect souls. The projection begins to crumble, and without it, some people have no idea how to stay. They didn't fall in love with your humanity. They fell in love with your symbolism. And when the symbol fades, they feel lost, confused, afraid, not just of you, but of what your realness demands from them. Because real love demands more than adoration. It demands understanding, patience, courage. It demands the willingness to meet someone exactly where they are, not where you wish they would be. If you have ever watched someone fall out of love with you as they truly got to know you, I want you to hear this. It was not because you became less lovable. It was because real love asks more of us than most people are ready to give. It's easy to love a dream. It's harder, and infinitely more beautiful, to love a person. To love the days when they are tired. To love the moments when they are scared. To love the parts of them that do not fit neatly into our stories. That is the love that endures. The love that survives the breaking of the fantasy and rises in the light of truth. And so, if someone walked away when the dream faded, let them go. Mourn the loss of the story you both hoped would last. Mourn the sweetness of what could have been. But do not mourn your truth, because the person who is meant for you, the one who will stay, will not be clinging to a dream of you. They will be choosing the real you, again and again, even when it's messy, even when it's hard. They will love not just the way you made them feel in the beginning, but the way your soul meets theirs in the ordinary moments. The way your flaws make you more beautiful, not less. The way your reality is even richer than any fantasy. No one can live inside a dream forever. But you can live inside a love that embraces reality. A love that breathes. A love that bends. A love that grows. And that love starts with you loving yourself. Exactly as you are. Not as a fantasy. Not as a savior. But as a miracle. Already whole. Already enough. Already worthy. Of a love that doesn't ask you to be anything but real. Chapter 7. Every love is a mirror. Not every person who walks into your life is meant to stay. Not every love is meant to last. And that hurts. It hurts more than most people admit. But even the loves that fall apart, even the ones that leave you aching, serve a purpose far greater than you might see in the moment. Every love, every connection, is a mirror, a reflection of something you needed to see, something you needed to remember, or something you needed to heal. Sometimes, love shows you your strength. It shows you how brave your heart can be when it chooses to open again, how much tenderness lives inside you, even after all the ways the world has tried to harden you. Other times, love shows you your wounds. It reveals the parts of you still carrying fear, still craving approval, still longing for safety. It brings to light the scars you thought you had buried long ago. And sometimes, love shows you the parts of yourself you've forgotten, the dreams you gave up on, the innocence you stopped protecting, the wildness you tried to tame. It's easy to look back on broken love and call it a mistake. It's easy to blame yourself, to shame yourself for trusting, for hoping, for believing. But there are no mistakes here. Only mirrors. Mirrors reflecting where you are, and where you are still meant to go. Every love, even the painful ones, is an invitation, a chance to look deeper, to grow wiser, to love yourself more fiercely than you ever have before. If someone broke your heart, they also revealed its depths. If someone abandoned you, they also showed you where you were still abandoning yourself. If someone saw you, even for a moment, they reminded you that you are visible, that you are worthy of being witnessed, even when it ended badly, even when it ended before you were ready, even when it ended without the closure you deserved. There was meaning in the meeting. There was growth in the goodbye. You are not foolish for loving. You are not weak for grieving. You are brave. You are alive. You are becoming. And every love, every messy, beautiful, devastating love, is a part of that becoming. You are being shaped, not into someone smaller, but into someone bigger, someone wiser, someone truer, someone who no longer settles for mirrors that only show your reflection, but for mirrors that show your soul. So the next time you feel the sting of a love that didn't last, the next time you wonder if it was all for nothing, remember this: nothing is ever wasted. Not a single glance, not a single kiss, not a single tear. Everything you have loved and lost has brought you closer to yourself, closer to the love that stays, closer to the life that fits, closer to the person you were always meant to be. Chapter 8. Awakening to Conscious Love. There comes a moment, after the grieving, after the questioning, after the long, heavy nights, when you begin to see love differently. You realize it was never just about finding someone who would stay. It was about becoming someone who could stay with yourself. When we are unconscious in love, we search for completion outside of us. We search for someone to fill the empty spaces, someone to soothe the old wounds, someone to carry the pieces we're too tired or too afraid to hold. And for a time it works, or it feels like it does. But eventually the cracks show, and the truth emerges. No one can carry what you refuse to claim. No one can complete what you are unwilling to heal. This is where conscious love begins. Not with perfect timing, not with finding the one, not with a grand, cinematic moment where everything falls into place. It begins with you, with the choice to turn inward, to meet your own fears, to hold your own brokenness, to reclaim your own lost pieces, not waiting for someone else to bring them back to you. It begins with the quiet, radical act of saying, I am already whole. I am already enough. I do not need to be saved. I only need to be seen, first by myself, and then by another. When you awaken to conscious love, everything changes. You stop chasing people who feel familiar because they match your old wounds. You stop mistaking intensity for intimacy. You stop handing your heart to those who cannot even hold their own. You become discerning, not out of fear, not out of bitterness, but out of love for yourself and for the kind of connection you know is now possible. You no longer need someone to fix you. You no longer need someone to rescue you. You are no longer seeking someone to finish your story. You are seeking someone who wants to write a new story with you, page by page, choice by choice, truth by truth. Conscious love is not perfect. It's not without conflict or vulnerability or risk, but it is aware. It is rooted in truth, not fantasy. It is built on seeing each other clearly, and loving not in spite of that clarity, but because of it. It is knowing, you are not my missing half. You are another whole soul, and together we choose to build something sacred. When you awaken to conscious love, you stop fearing loneliness. You begin to understand. Being alone is not the same as being abandoned. Being alone can be holy. It can be healing. It can be the space where you meet yourself most intimately. And from that fullness, when love does arrive, you will not grasp at it. You will not fear losing it, because you will know you were whole before them, and you will be whole after them. Love will no longer be your rescue. It will be your reflection, a reflection of the love you have already cultivated within. So if you are here now, standing in the aftermath of broken dreams, standing in the tender space between who you were and who you are becoming, know this: you are awakening, you are rising, you are learning how to love consciously. And when the time comes, when the right soul meets you on the path, you will not lose yourself in them. You will not become smaller to keep them. You will not abandon your truth for their approval. You will meet them as an equal, a mirror, a partner, a friend, and together, you will write a love story that is not based on missing pieces, but on mutual wholeness, a story where neither of you is saving the other, but where both of you are free. Chapter 9. The part of your soul that's waking up. There's a question, quiet but powerful, that lives beneath every experience of love. What part of my soul is waking up right now? Because that's what love does, even when it hurts. It awakens you. It shakes you. It asks you to see yourself more clearly than you ever have before. Every person you are drawn to, every connection that leaves fingerprints on your heart, is a messenger, a reflection, a mirror showing you a part of yourself that was ready to be seen. Some people awaken your courage. Some awaken your longing. Some awaken your wounds. Some awaken your dreams. And yes, some awaken your deepest pain. But all of them, every single one, are part of your becoming. You may think that you are searching for love, but really, you are searching for yourself. The parts of yourself you hid. The parts you were told were too much or not enough. The parts you forgot how to trust. When you love, truly love, you invite those hidden parts into the light. You say, it's safe now. You can come home. Maybe that's why it hurts so much when love ends. Because it feels like losing a piece of yourself all over again. But the truth is, you don't lose anything essential. You don't lose the awakening. You don't lose the growth. You don't lose the light that was sparked inside you. That stays. That becomes part of who you are. Love may come and go. People may enter and leave your life. But the parts of yourself that love awakens, those remain. Those are yours to keep, forever. So if you are standing in the ruins of a love you thought would last, if you are sifting through the memories, wondering what it all meant, ask yourself, what part of me woke up because of this? Maybe it was your voice. Maybe it was your worth. Maybe it was your ability to dream again. Maybe it was the realization that you are stronger than you ever imagined. Whatever it was, honor it, treasure it, because that awakening is the real gift, not the relationship. Not the fantasy, not the perfect ending. The gift was the part of you that remembered its own brilliance, the part that will never forget its own light again. And the next time you love, because you will love again, you will do so with eyes wide open, not from a place of emptiness, not from a place of longing to be completed, but from a place of wholeness, from a place that knows, I am already enough, I am already home, and whoever joins me here, must meet me in my fullness, not my fear. This is the secret no one tells you about heartbreak. It's not a punishment. It's a passage, a threshold, a sacred, necessary breaking open. Because sometimes the heart must break, not to end love, but to expand it, to make more room, to make deeper room, for yourself, for life, for a love that can meet you exactly where you are, without needing you to be anything other than what you have always been, whole, worthy, awake. So here we are, at the end of this path, and somehow also at the beginning, because love, real love, was never just about finding someone else. It was about finding yourself. It was about awakening the parts of you that had been sleeping. It was about healing the parts you had forgotten how to touch. It was about remembering that you were never broken, only becoming. Every love you have known, the beautiful ones, the painful ones, the ones that left you breathless, and the ones that left you bleeding, all of them were part of this. Not one moment was wasted. Not one tear was meaningless. Because each experience shaped you. Each person mirrored something back to you. Each heartbreak cracked you open a little more, to your own light. And through it all, you have been learning how to stay. Stay with yourself. Stay with your truth. Stay with the wild, beautiful, complicated soul that you are. This is the real work of love. Not to lose yourself inside another. Not to wait for someone to complete you, but to rise into the fullness of who you already are. Whole, worthy, awake. And when you meet love again, because you will not meet it with desperation. You will not meet it with fear. You will meet it with open hands, with a heart that knows how to stay soft without losing its strength, with a soul that no longer seeks saving, only seeing. So if your heart is heavy tonight, if the past still lingers in your chest, breathe. You are not broken. You are not behind. You are not too much or too little. You are exactly where you're meant to be. You are on time. You are on path. You are awakening. And the love you are seeking, the love that will honor your depth, your realness, your wholeness, is awakening too. It's finding its way to you, just as you are finding your way back to yourself. Tonight, whisper this to your heart. I trust the journey. I trust the timing. I trust the love that is already living within me. Because you are not searching for love. You are becoming it. And that is the greatest love story of all.